you need some money to be able to do a proper and well-versed poultry farming. For one type of poultry farming, which we think is very, very good, and actually people with least capital or very little capital can actually get into, which is poultry farming in your backyard. So stay with me right here. My name is Farmer J on KOFI Farms, and today we are coming your way, bringing you the cost involved in starting a poultry farm from your backyard. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this particular video with your friends, with your family. Share it to that friend who wants to start a poultry farm, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of our videos that we are going to bring up. Thank you. Now, if you talk about poultry farming in your backyard, you need to understand that we are looking at ways of minimizing cost. So the first thing, if it is in your backyard, then the location is free. If it is in your backyard, the location is free. So it means that you are not going to invest any money at all when it comes to getting a piece of land, when it comes to finding the location. This is free. So what we advise for you to do is that you need to start from your backyard. Okay, so how big is your backyard and how many beds can you have in your poultry farm? Well, this will depend on the size of your backyard. If you have a small backyard, like my mom used to have when we were young, probably you're not going to put in a lot of beds. But if you have a very sizable and big backyard, well, maybe you can have lots of beds in there. So the size of your backyard would actually go a long way to determine the number of beds that you'll be able to have over there. All right. Now, the most important thing that we need to do is that if you're going to do in your backyard, we have a recommendation for you. Something that is going to make your work easy, something that is going to make the whole process clean for you, something that is going to simplify the whole poultry farming process for you, which is we admonish that you actually use a cage system. And the reason you have to use a cage system and not use a free roaming system, or the case where you allow your chicken to be roaming about by their own, is because you are able to have proper control on the beds that you have. And so if you're going into a cage kind of system, you begin to think, oh my God, do I have to use battery cage system? How much is it going to cost me? Because I have heard that it is very cost intensive. Okay, guys, calm down, calm down. You can actually use cages that are made with wood. Wooden cages actually have shown to be as efficient as metal cages. So why don't we go in for wooden cages? Now, for the wooden cages, as I will note here, wooden cages, okay, we know that the cost involved in building wooden cages will actually depend on the capacity of beds that you want to bring in. Now, for anyone that is watching this video, if you are watched to this point, then it means that you are the type that is thinking of starting anywhere between maybe 10 beds to around 50 beds. Yes, I said 10. You can actually start with 10 beds. Of course, it is not necessarily advisable in terms of the economics involved, but for the sake of example, we are going to use 50 beds for this particular video. And so, if you're going to start with 50 beds, then you can use wooden cages for 50 beds. All right, so 50 beds, wooden cages. Now, with these wooden cages, you're going to provide a place for them to feed, where they're going to have their feeding trough. You're also going to provide them with water. There is a water system that we are going to show you, and all of these kind of things, which will allow you to be able to actually take a good stock and raise your beds very well. Now, what is the cost involved in putting up some of these wooden structures? Now, for the research that we have done on the market, these wooden structures can cost you anywhere between 500 Ghana cedis to 1,000 Ghana cedis. Now, we are putting these values in Ghana cedis, but we are actually also going to put them in other currencies, or in the currencies of the countries that you're watching from, so that you can actually relate. So anywhere between 500 Ghana cedis to 1,000 Ghana cedis, this is how much it's going to cost you to build these wooden cages where you're going to have your chicks. Now, the idea is that with these wooden cages, it is actually essential for you to build them in such a way that they are a two-decker system. So I'm going to make a simple image here, as you'll be seeing on your screen. And this is a two-decker system. So this is your chicken house in this way. So that, for example, if you do not have the money to bring in all your beds at once, let's say you're doing 50, but you only have the money to bring in 25 at a time, you can put your first 25 here, okay? 25 hens here. And then later on, when you have another one, or when you have the other 25, you put them here at the top, 25 hens. All right, so that you're going to have a good control and not mix the younger birds with the older birds. Additionally, if you're able to do this two-decker system, right, two-decker system, what is going to happen is that you're able to save space so that you're able to increase your production. Then you can do even 30 below, or 40 below, 50 below, or 50 above, sorry. So these are the reasons why we say that if you're going to go into the backyard farming, this is the system that you need to use. Now, you have the cost here with respect to how much you're going to need to build the chicken house. This is the full two-decker system, which is being used. And you can see, yes, over there, this is where the feeding trough is. And then you also have the water system in there for the hens to be taking water. So food and water, most important. You also have this tray that is below where all the waste will be going into. So the waste will be going into this. And then you'll be able to discard them off easily. So guys, we hope that this video is able to help you to know the cost involved in starting a poultry farm in your backyard. Thank you very much. I'm Farmer Jay and I'm out.